You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Well, I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Well, actually, welcome to Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Y'all know I got my other channel going, so if you haven't subscribed, I do have a co-ed channel, Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I have male and female followers, and here I have Mocha's Ladies Lounge, which is specifically for ladies, but also, you know, I do have guys who do stop by and do show love, so you know, anybody is welcome. But nevertheless, welcome to Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Appreciate y'all for y'all patience. I know I have not been uploading. I got 1,000 different projects going on, and I am just really catching it, trying to balance everything out. Not only that, I recently just became an anger management counselor. So for anybody who is interested in getting a 101 session with me via StreamYard, for any anger management sessions, usually my sessions are between 45 minutes to an hour. So if you are interested in receiving any anger management sessions as a group or as an individual, you're more than welcome to reach out to me at my email, cafedeparis79@yahoo.com. So sessions are going to be free for the first 3 individuals who email me and reach out to me. So the first 3 ladies who reach out to me, then again, no, I take that back. I'll say the 5 first ladies who reach out to me, we will do an anger management group session, StreamYard online, and that will be with you personally interacting with me. We will be going over some anger management tactics, because I think that is an issue in the black community, that a lot of us struggle with as black women. And the first step to anger management is realizing that you have anger issues. So just the strength off of knowing this is a struggle, and you're willing to reach out to me to get that free counseling session, that already shows that you're trying to make the proper necessary steps to spiritually and mentally get yourself on the right path. So the first 5 ladies who email me, yes, Mocha, I'm interested in attending anger management live session, I'm going to email you back, and I'm going to give you a time. And this goes for all first 5 ladies. Anybody who inboxes me after I have already approved 5 ladies, you know, you're just going to have to catch me on another time. So anyway, if you're interested, inbox me so I can get you in. Keep in mind, this will be a group session. So you're going to be with 5 other ladies, okay? You will not be alone, all right? So that's just part of the procedure, and those who want to do individually after that, that is where my fees and different things of that nature come into play. But anyway, let's get it. I definitely wanted to talk to y'all about the Jeannie and rapper Young Jezzy situation. Now, I did already spoke about this on my co-ed channel, Mocha's Cafe de Paris, and the reason I thought it was imperative that I spoke on that is because I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with the gender war that's going on in the YouTube streets. You know, you have a lot of these male content creators, specifically black male content creators, who love to make it their business to let us know when a black man has chosen to date or marry another woman outside their race. And a lot of these black male content creators, which I will not say any names because I'm not trying to give them any clout, and I'm not trying to help their channel out because I'm still trying to grow my own platform, but a lot of male content creators, I had to walk away from their channel and their platform because some of these guys, they start off authentically very genuine, like they have the best interest of all black men and black women, like they're trying to preach and teach to everyone and give everybody a fair balance of, you know, their content. Ever since the Kevin Samuels you know, phase had, you know, elevated and he became very popular, and Kevin Samuels gained a lot of notoriety off of, you know, basically bashing black women and making mockery out of the black women who will call into his show. That has pretty much, you know, spreaded this bashing black woman, you know, disease has just become the latest trend. It has become a popular trend in the black YouTube sector because there's so many male content creators that are doing it. Now, I would not say all men are doing it because I do support some guys who are genuinely fair, genuinely balanced. They go in on both black men and black women. They haven't been bit by the red pill rage bug. So you got some men out there that are mature enough to follow their own mind and not get so caught up in the red pill raging where they specifically just do content that attacks women so they can keep getting male followers to sold and tithe into their toxic channels. And the same thing with a lot of these women. You know, we do have some sisters out here that are trying to build a bitter sisterhood committee, constantly going in on black men and constantly dragging black men and putting them all in the same box. So it's not just something that black men are doing, the black women are doing it as well. And me, for the most part, I try to stray away from that because that's just too much negative energy. And I believe whatever energy you put out is what you put back. And a lot of these male content creators have been catching a lot of L's. A lot of them have passed away. A lot of them, you know, like Brother Polite got incarcerated for 7 years. Another one, I can't remember his name, but it's so many of the men who have been promoting this red pill bashing black woman festivities, and they haven't had the best of luck doing so. You know, the feds have been, you know, studying them and watching their content and listening to them, you know, self-snitching themselves about the things that they have done to women, the way they have abused women. You know, some have even admitted to sex trafficking. You'll be surprised how vicious and you know, so out of touch with reality some of these men are, that they're willing to admit to some things they do to women illegally just to, you know, continue getting that support from a lot of their male followers who also adopt the same negative philosophies about black women such as they do. So basically a lot of these men have been, you know, catching some L's lately. You know, they're bashing black women prophets or preachers or godfathers, whatever they want to call these men who they idolize and worship and treasure, that bash and trash black women. Instead of just calling out certain black women, they want to put us all in the same box. It don't matter if you're married, it don't matter if you got all your kids from the same man. You know, once you're a black woman, they're just going to put you in this box and say you're trifling anyway. So ever since the passing of their godfather Kevin Samuels, it's been pretty downhill from there. You still have a few of them still standing strong, still bashing women, still have their red pill attack dogs that also bash women in their chat rooms. You know, you have the chat termites, the clout roaches that like to crawl all over women by disrespecting women in order to, you know, keep some notoriety and unpopularity with their male audience. But nevertheless, this is the reason why when this divorce came out about Jeannie and Jezzy, a lot of these men were really in their feelings because they've been catching a lot of L's lately, you know, with all of these guys who they've been worshiping and giving praise Sunday service to that have always had it out for black women. So, any moment in which they can give a black man praise for something, especially if they feel that it's in regards to belittling black women, they are going to use it to their advantage. So keep in mind, you know, when Jeannie Mai first got with Jezzy, a lot of these male content creators was just celebrating this union, which I knew and a lot of other women knew was short-lived. However, we could not make it make sense to some of these red pill rage guys because they're so infatuated with seeing a black man with a non-colored woman on his arms, because to them that helps to validate their narratives that they're constantly promoting, that black women are not worthy, black women are not valuable, black women, we really don't have any substance. So when Jezzy Mai and young, oh I said Jezzy Mai, when Jeannie Mai and Jezzy first got together, all these guys was all over it. They were saying, you know, how Jezzy got a real one. That's a one-up for Jezzy, representing the black brothers, you know, not dating or not committing to a black woman, you know, even though young Jezzy has 4 children, so he does have black women who he had children from. He does have black baby mamas. Now he has half Vietnamese / Chinese black baby mom. Half Vietnamese, half Chinese baby mama as well, added to the collection in addition to the black baby mamas he already had. So you had a lot of these red pill rage guys who do content that goes against showing black women respect. And like I said, I really don't feel like, you know, men have to always praise us and worship us and put us on the pedestal. Yes, a lot of us do have to work on who we are as women. Some of us are trifling. There are some trifling black women out there. There are some ghetto gut bucket hood harlots, you know, and I've even addressed that several times on my channel. So I think it's artificial for us to feel like we gotta always put each other on the pedestal. Sometimes we do have to call each other out on the BS. It is what it is. On my channel, I go in on men and I go in on women. But in order for your content to grow, you have to pick a side, and that's just the way it is. You have to either be all for black men or all for black women. That's the only way your channel is going to grow. Being balanced content creators such as myself, we don't get a lot of notoriety because we don't pick a side and bash another side in order to make one side more valid for our content. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys, they was really praising Jezzy, you know, for those of y'all who don't be in the YouTube sector like that. A lot of these black male content creators was just really kind of rubbing it in our face, if you will, you know, like a nana boo boo type of thing. Like, look at Jezzy, he got himself a prize, he got himself a queen, you know. And it got to the point, you know, doing Jezzy's and Jeannie's duration of their marriage, which expired quicker than a carton of milk. Every little thing Jeannie Mai was saying and doing, you had guys doing shorts, videos on it, complimenting her. If she said 1 or 2 things that made some sense, because she's not a totally dumb woman, you know, they would make a big deal out of that. They basically made Jeannie Mai like a goddess because Jezzy chose to marry her and have a child from her versus a black woman. And this is the BS that's been going on in the black YouTube sector. So that's why I chose, like many other women, I don't follow a lot of the male content creators who allow black women to be bashed and who only speak on black women. Listen, I'm okay with the bashing every once in a while, but damn, are we going to talk about the men sometimes? You know, are you going to correct these dudes sometimes? Or is it, are you going to allow the male followers, your fanboys, to in your chat room to disrespect the women who do support you and follow you? So I haven't followed a lot of guys because of that reason. You know, everybody starts off being good content creators until the views start going up and them cash apps start going up. Then the ego and the arrogance start to go up as well. So, you know, that just comes with it. So I always ask God to keep me humble, no matter how much things progress, you know, in my life, or you know, with as far as my panels and stuff like that. So when this divorce came out, a lot of the sisters was in on it, and I am going to be one of them. A lot of sisters was like, we told y'all, we tried to tell y'all, we warned y'all that Jeannie Mai was not this queen, this submissive non-colored queen who just made Jezzy, worshipped and praised him like the black man that he is entitled to having. Okay, so a lot of the male content creators are in their feelings because a lot of women are going in on this, and they feel like, once again, you know, we want to speak on this due to the fact that it makes all of their narratives that they have promoted to their fanboys, it kind of it taints that, you know, and that's why I don't do relationship goals. Me, for the most part, I never put no couple on a pedestal. I don't care if it's a white woman with a black man or a black woman with a white man. I just don't believe in relationship goals, because regardless if you think you have somebody submissive that's gonna let you run the show and they just comply, it's always a catch-22. You know what I mean? And we're living in different times now where it's not submissiveness is almost becoming non-extinct. It still exists, but I feel like it exists more for older couples that are in their late 40s or early 50s that have been together for a long time. You know, the baby boomers, I feel like they're still in that submissive era. In this day and age, because the morals of women are changing and the morals of men are changing, the women want to be the man wants to be the women. All the roles have reversed, in which people do not know their place anymore, and men don't want to be men and women don't want to be women, and neither one is willing to humble themselves and learn from one another. Because again, we got all these YouTube pastors and dating gurus and counselors who have poisoned people through social media by giving them these false expectations that you're supposed to meet a woman that's just shut up and keep her mouth closed and not have an opinion, or you should meet a man that just is rich, millionaire, got all this money, and he just does what the hell you say if he's a real man. And I'm like, none of this is by far realistic. You know, and when you set people up for these delusions and they support these delusions and they worship these delusions, when it's time for them to go out in the real world and those delusions don't play out to them the way it's been taught to them, that is where some of these individuals start derailing, jumping off at the hinges, because you've been programmed to believe that a woman is supposed to be a certain way or a man is supposed to be a certain way. So Jezzy took it upon himself to file the divorce papers to basically end his marriage to Jeannie Mai. So the first thing I thought about when I heard rapper Jezzy actually was the one who initiated divorce. His real name is J. Wayne Jenkins, by the way. He filed his divorce last Thursday in Atlanta after just 2 years of them being married. Now, word has it that they've been separated since August, and he actually was contemplating on leaving since July. So big ups to Caramel Real for giving that information. Did not know they were separated, so a lot of bloggers are saying it, but I remember hearing it from Caramel Real first, so big ups to her for the info. So anyway, there have been problems on the home front, and like I said on my other content, it's rare that men file for divorce first. It's usually, in most cases, the woman. So Jezzy had reached his broken place to where he realized that, you know what, this is not worth me holding on to. Because divorce is not just a spontaneous decision. That's not like saying, you know, I'm in the mood for a Reese's Pieces Blizzard. I'm going to go to Dairy Queen, you know, and it's 9 o'clock at night. You know, or, you know what, I just feel like hitting the road. You know, I want to go clear my mind. You just jump in the car and clear my mind. No, this means that Jezzy has been processing this for a very long time, because where men differ from women is that they actually process things. So a lot of times as a woman, if you study your companion, your male companion, your husband, and you notice he's relatively quiet all the time, he's always coming and going. When you come, he's leaving, vice versa. He's not communicating a lot, because what it is, he's processing and he's taking a lot of things in. And he's trying to make a decision. I've seen women who have said, you know, I never even saw it coming. I've seen women be blinded with divorce, blindsided with it, and they didn't see it coming. When the thing about it is, oh, trust and believe, there was signs. There's always signs. You just chose to ignore it, or you were so self-absorbed with your own happiness that you could not notice any of his misery. That happens too, because you got some women like this, you know, they don't. You got some women that's like this. Hell, I don't give a damn if he's miserable or not, long as he's paying the bills, long as I'm financially taken care of, as long as you know, he's paying the car notes or whatever, as long as he's doing his, you know, take care of his responsibilities, she could care less about his misery. And this is how a lot of women get caught off guard, you know what I mean? And we don't know, but that's just my speculation, that Jeannie Mai was really so self-absorbed that she really did not care to notice that it was coming. And for Jezzy to file a divorce this quickly, whatever it was too much. It was too much. Now, different sources are saying that allegedly, and I'm going to say this as my disclaimer, everything I say in this video is based off of my mere opinion. It's for educational and entertainment purposes only. Everything I say in this content is fair use. That's my disclaimer. Everything is alleged. So, the first allegation is that Jeannie Mai's culture, keep in mind she's half Vietnamese, half Chinese. I'm not sure how certain this is. I don't know a whole lot about it, but rumor has it that Jezzy was getting fed up with supporting her whole family. Now keep in mind, her mother was living with them. Okay, and from the looks of it, I looked up a picture of Jeannie Mai's mother, and she doesn't strike me as an old lady who lives in the shoe and don't know what to do. That she just sits in a rocking chair and just drinks coffee and watch you know, soap operas. You can tell she's one of those spunky type of women who love the finer things in life, just like her daughter. And there was some pictures circulating around with Jeannie Mai's mother dressed exactly like her granddaughter, which is nothing that's wrong with that. I think that's cute. But in the back of my mind, I'm wondering who's paying for this. You know, the fact that allegedly Jeannie Mai's mother has been staying with them. 9 times out of 10, Jezzy is the breadwinner. So if your mother's living there, he's not only taking care of you as his wife, which is understandable, and his daughter, that you know, because y'all have a child together, but he's also taking care of the mother, which makes me wonder who else was he taking care of. This is the reason why people don't need to be so hell-bent on going around promoting that black women should be with white men, or or black men should only date foreign women, because you have to realize a lot of these foreigners have their own customs with how they do things. For instance, I had a friend of mine who had a sister that was in a relationship with a Mexican guy, and she was not really thrilled or comfortable with the customs of his family. For instance, you know, for the most part, when we average black folks, when we go to visit each other, we don't just pop up to each other's house unannounced. We normally call each other, "Hey sis, hey cuz, what you doing? I'm in town. If you're not too busy, this is okay for me to stop by." And when we actually come to the house, we knock on the door and we have a seat, sit down, talk, conversate. We may even have some lunch or something together. But if we want something to drink, we just don't go and open our aunt's refrigerator. We just don't go and open, you know, our cousin's refrigerator. You ask, or they'll offer and say, "You can go grab me something to drink." In the Mexican culture, she found out that they're customized to go to each other's homes unannounced. Not only unannounced, but when they actually come inside the home, they basically allow one another to go in each other's refrigerator, or to go in there and make themselves a sandwich, or to go in there and, you know, cook you a pot of, you know, make you some burritos, you know, whatever. And in our culture, if we had allowed each other to do that, that would be conflict. That would be, you know, that would definitely be a catastrophe, because we just don't do that in our culture. But in their culture, they do that, and this, it's normal to them. They see nothing wrong with going to each other's house. Why you think a lot of them, they all live within the same area? Notice how they live together as a group, and they borrow each other's cars. You know, they buy 22, you know, $800-900 worth of groceries for all of them to eat out. You know, all of them to eat together. I used to work at Walmart, where I seen Mexicans or Hispanics come in the line, and they will have like 5 households worth of groceries, and all of them was together, and they will be walking out with like 10 to 15 grocery carts. And I think due to the fact that they have had a different level of struggle and obstacles compared to us, that is their culture. Banding together, building together, and you know, just being in on everything together as a family. That way everybody could win. That could be a good thing, but at the same time, that may not be a good thing, because, you know, you got some family members who feel like, shit, as long as I got everybody else doing it, I ain't got to do my part. You know, our culture is just not built like that. Somebody's just going to always try to get over. We just, I hate to say it, but our people, the majority of us, we just don't have that. We can't reciprocate that same level of giving. It's always going to be somebody that's going to try to be the get over king or the get over queen, while everybody else banding and pulling together. Or you have one, when they do make it, they jump ship and don't tell nobody and branch off and do their own thing. So the black community, one would think, because of all we've had to overcome during Jim Crow and segregation laws and all of that, that we would be closer than ever. But we just don't have that spirit, and that's why a lot of us cannot grow, and we cannot have more than what we are restricting ourselves to. So anyway, she did not know that. And I think Jezzy, being that he married her so quickly, I'm sure he really did not know that. I'm sure they probably didn't have that conversation. I'm sure he didn't say, "Look, I don't know a whole lot about the Vietnamese or Chinese culture. What is y'all intake on family?" I actually saw that on 90 Days. I seen the same thing happen on 90 Day Fiance. I forgot what season it was, but I remember one of the participants on the show, she was dating, well, you know, they actually was married, but she married I think a guy that was Portuguese, or I don't know if he was Portuguese or if he was it's another ethnicity, Portuguese or Puerto Rican. I'm not sure. It'll probably dawn on me as I go into it. But anyway, he was definitely not her race. She was Hispanic, and he was a totally different race from her. And what happened was when his mother, yeah, her family was there too. Her family, his family, caught themselves getting together and having a family get together. And during the duration of them sitting down having a good meal, his mother, out the blue, says, you know, you haven't been sending any money home since you've been married, you know. And of course his wife at the time looked at them sideways, because again, she's from America, okay, where men may help mom out, may help daddy out, sister here and there, but it's for the most part, our culture is everybody has to work and provide for their own house. But where he was from, the sons are considered as the men of the house, especially if the father is no longer there, if the father passed away, whatever. He takes on that role, meaning that even if he gets married, he still has to take care of his mama and his sisters and whoever else stays with that mother. And needless to say, that conversation had almost damn near caused the whole table to be turned over, because the wife was very frustrated with her husband's mother, basically making him feel guilty, like, ever since you moved to the United States and in America, you know, you're taking care of this woman, but what about your family here? What about us? You know, I'm your mother. You got siblings here. And his wife had to tell him, look, I don't know how y'all do it there, but here, this man has to provide for his own family. And like the mother said, and you know, you cannot tell somebody what they should or shouldn't do when it comes to their own culture and their own principles, but the mother was trying to explain to her, look here, I understand that's how y'all do it in America, but keep in mind where we are from, the son is supposed to always, even if he moves on and moves into another country or whatever, he's still supposed to be sending his money back home to provide and pay the bills. And the wife was like, well, I know y'all in a different country, but what happened to having your own goddamn job? What happened to y'all all getting jobs and pulling together and paying the rent? That way y'all don't have to become codependent on him, because he is now a married man and has his own family. And it just was a war. And I understood where the mom was coming from, even though that is nowhere in my prerequisite. I don't believe in a man. Listen, my husband has had to help sister out here, mama out, daddy out here, but when it comes to the point where it's taken from my house, where I'm feeling deprived or I'm going without, we have a problem. And let's be true, let's just be honest, all of us aren't married to men that are rich, who can pull it off doing both, take care of his house and mama and daddy, and everybody be straight and it not affect something. It's just, you know, everybody, all of us for the most part are just not in a position to be able to do that. But that became a major challenge. And I think that that is one of the problems that a lot of black men and black women need to understand. When you're dealing with these foreigners, when you're dating non-colored men or marrying non-colored women, it's very imperative that you study their culture and you really have an understanding on how they perceive marriage, how they perceive family, because it'll save you a lot of embarrassment and headaches in the long run. Jezzy didn't do any of that. He became so enthused with a non-colored woman being attractive to him that he just lost all of his common sense. He didn't think it through. So on that note, I'm pretty sure there was cultural differences. And I wish more brothers or red pill content creators would discuss that. If you're going to deal with women outside of the race, even though you're just so asphyxiated on the submission part, keep in mind you have to be aware of her culture, and you know, the principalities of her family structure. You have some of these families in which the husband is obligated to take care of the mother and the father and the siblings, and you have to make sure you're well aware of their culture or their family structures, their principalities, their morals, you know, their customs, basically. So I don't think he was really well aware of that. He couldn't have been, because they only been, what, dating and married for 2 years. So to me, that's not enough time for you to really have enough knowledge in that area. I'm sure had he been with her longer before he put a ring on it, he would have saw all of that up front. If he would have been around her family long enough, seeing how they are codependent upon her, you know, maybe that would have gave him a second eye. Like, I don't know. If I was to marry this woman, I mean, look like she the breadwinner of her family. She's taking care of her mama. She's taking care of her brothers. She paying their bills. I know if I would have become a husband, most likely she's going to look for me to do that. So, nevertheless, that was one of the issues. But the biggest issue at hand, which I kind of felt was the main issue, and Jeannie Mai pretty much confirmed that when she did this interview, because when it comes to anger and hostility, it seems to me that that word is associated when it comes to black women. We're always angry, we're always upset, we're bitter, you know, we always have negative energy. We're very bossy. We're very demanding. We don't know our place. We don't know how to be submissive. We don't know how to, you know, stay in a woman's place, if you want to call it that. However, but a lot of these men are going to discover, these passport brothers, these red pill, you know, whatever you want to call them, women are not as submissive and docile as they used to be. It's not so much of a culture. What they have to realize is we are living in a different era. It has nothing to do with race. You think because you're with a white woman, she's going to be more humble and submissive, or a Latina woman, she's going to be more catering. It's this false sense of reality of believing that if you deal with a different race, you are more safe. Not realizing that a lot of these women are Americanized, which means they're around other women who are very independent, self-sufficient, that are feminists. They're going to work around them. In some cases, they are birthed by women who are feminists, regardless of if she's Asian or Korean or Latina, whatever the case is. If they're exposed to a lot of modern women, which most of the time that's going to happen, especially when it comes to the States. Not even just that, the fact that social media, women don't even have to be in the company of other women to learn the ways of feminism, feministic principalities, feministic morals. Just like there's these red pill channels, you got these feminist channels, you got these feminist groups that are teaching women that they don't have to humble themselves to a man, you know. And I'm not totally for that. I feel like if that's your husband and he's good to you, he's a good provider, there should be no limits to being a humble, giving woman, as long as he's not abusing it and treating you like a child, you know, and you know, not living up to his standards as a husband, but wanting you to walk a straight and narrow path while he gets to whore around and disrespect the marriage and does what he wants to do, but he wants you to stay as a lady. Then no, I have an issue with that. I believe respect is a two-way street. But anyway, I am going to go ahead and play this clip. I'm going to play the audio so y'all can hear it. I'm not going to actually display it on here because it does belong to different content creators. Matter of fact, I'm going to let y'all know who I got the interview from in case y'all want to view the whole content yourself. I got it from, let me make sure I'm taking y'all, sending y'all to the right channel. Lovers and Friends podcast with Shan 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. And basically, Jeannie Mai is having an interview with her. Now, what I will say about Jeannie Mai, I do like the fact she's very, very transparent, you know, but I think it hurts her more than helps her, in a sense. And the sad part, if we as black women was to be this transparent, these guys would be all over us like ants on a picnic sandwich, you know. Like, how dare you? Ain't no man gonna put up with that. Ain't no man gonna deal with that, you know. I just the irony of it, you know, for them to give this woman praise and worship service because Jezzy selected her when indeed she was the one who chose him. She scoped him out. She went for the biggest bid because her money doesn't stretch like Jezzy's money. And even Jezzy knew that, which is why he did a prenup. Now, I don't know how that prenup is going to save him in this case, but time will tell. And hopefully for his sake, he doesn't get burnt too badly. Because the child support, we already know that that's a done deal as far as that goes. But hopefully it doesn't get no uglier than what it has become. But I'm going to play this beautiful being footage so y'all can hear for yourself. And this interview gives you a real good underlying foundation as to how Jeannie Mai, her mindset is really formulated, how she perceives things, and these are the underhidden issues that a lot of these men don't understand when it comes to these foreign women. Now, these foreign women, they don't bite their tongue. They don't just sit there and shut up and sit in the corner like an obedient dog or whatever. They do bite back. And they do have heavy personalities, and they could get flipped out the mouth because guess what? That is not a black woman's issue. That's not an Asian woman's issue. That's not a Latina woman's issue. That's not a white woman's issue. It's just called being a damn woman. And because we are emotional, we're going to get smart at the mouth. We're going to, you know, step out of place. And if we've had trauma in our childhood, which Jeannie Mai has revealed, a lot of that anger, it festers in your personality, which affects your tone, which affects how you address people. If there have been things in your childhood that has transpired, and if you have not gotten the counseling or the therapy or the spiritual healing you need from that, you will carry that spirit into your marriage, into your husband, even your children. Everybody who relies on your love, your warmth, and your support, you're going to bring all of that toxic energy into their presence. But anyway, let's go ahead and play the audio.
Growing, healing. I have always worked on growing, healing, and evolving. And when I look at when I didn't want to have kids, I was really happy and content with where I was, but I was still trying to grow. Today, let's just say I didn't have a child. I'd still see myself as evolved and continuing to. You never become fully evolved, right? But something happened and I just changed my mind. I said, you know what? And it really is, because I'm in a trustworthy relationship and I also am not being so hard on myself anymore and I've healed, I changed my mind and I said, you know what? I want to be a mom. I chose it.
Yeah, we pretty much know why you chose it. You chose it because of the fact Jezzy is a hip-hop artist worth millions. You chose not to have a child from your husband because even though he had been with you for 10 years, stood by you through the thick and thin, he's a broke down Brad. He was not making the money that Jezzy was making. So that Jezzy was making. So that was the real reason why you changed your mind. And also, you wasn't really sure or certain how long you and Jezzy would be together, because if you was really certain that you and Jezzy would have been together for many years to come, you would have not felt the need to have a child so quickly during a premature stage of your marriage. But we'll keep letting you lie throughout this interview as we proceed.
I decided to shift my perspective and choose this for myself.
This week's topic is one that everybody can contribute and relate to some capacity. Should you change core parts of yourself once you get into a relationship? And I'm talking about the big shit. Your long-term goals, your value system.
Okay, so we're going to proceed.
A lot. I don't agree with that school of thought because I don't expect somebody to change for me, but I want them to grow and to become better versions of themselves for them. Like the person who, my favorite quality in a person that I think is so attractive is self-awareness. I love when someone's self-aware, to be like, you know what? That was kind of narcissistic of me, or that was kind of selfish of me, or that, and then whatever you see when you call that out, do what you got to do in order to kind of grow out of that, or stop, or draw a boundary between you and that person. For example, I have a really hot temper. Not a lot of people know this, but it's just something in my family. I've seen it in my grandmother. Saw it in my grandfather, to my grandmother, to my mom, to my aunts, to me, right?
So, this is the main point at hand. This was my purpose of playing this clip. Is to basically solidify the fact that when we think of anger, it is automatically associated to a black woman. It's automatically associated to a bitter woman. But in this case, this woman is not black, and supposedly she does not appear to be bitter. However, she admits to being hot-tempered, meaning that she will easily flip off the handle. You know, she will easily go off. She will easily get in her feelings. And I think this is one of the major reasons why Jezzy could no longer fake the funk. He could no longer put up this united front like he was this happy man, because Jeannie Mai here is admitting that she's hot-tempered. So this is one of those myths that I would appreciate a lot of men, especially the black male content creators today, stop utilizing the fact that only black women are angry and have anger issues. Because as we can see, Jeannie Mai is one who was very transparent and explaining that not only she has anger issues, because let's not dress it up. Hot-tempered means angry, okay? We're not going to butter it up. She's seen her grandmother, her grandfather, most likely her mama. She comes from a family in which they don't deal with anger easily. So therefore, this is a very significant problem. Now, my thing is, how could you expect someone to be submissive who has anger issues, who was born and raised in an environment in which flying off the handle is normalized? This is a big red flag that Jezzy probably had observed multiple times in this short duration of their marriage. And Jezzy had to look at it like this. Either I'm going to stay with her to prove a point, to preserve my image, so I can continue to make all of these black men out here believe that I'm so happy and you could always do better and you more safe outside your race. You know, or I could say, you know what, this is not me worth losing my sanity. This is not worth me losing my peace. And before I get out of character and end up having to handle this woman, to make her submissive, no, you know what? I think it's best that I'm going to just go ahead on and just jump ship before it's too late. I'm already seeing a side of this angry Asian that I don't want to have to be confined to for the rest of my life. We'll proceed.
But I didn't notice it in myself until I was with Jezzy.
Interesting. You didn't notice in your previous marriage?
No, because it has to do with the type of relationship you have and the type of respect you have for that person to mirror things back to you where you actually would stop you in your tracks. And
let me pump the brakes right there. Now, the interviewer, which is doing a phenomenal job, and I will put her link in the comment section. Jeannie Mai just stated that it was never really brought to her attention, or she never really saw anything wrong with it, because her first husband never called her out on it. And in this instance, Jezzy did. Okay? Jezzy is a hood dude. He's from the streets. He's not going to sit up here and humble himself while you talk to him crazy and you handle him like an unwanted stepchild. Now, her first husband, on the other hand, he appeared to be more of what she was pretending to be. Her, with the Jezzy. Her first husband was very submissive to her, unlike Jeannie Mai, who pretended to be wholeheartedly submissive to Jezzy. Okay? And what it is in this instance, Jezzy called her out on it. So that's why she didn't see anything wrong with it. So I could only imagine, this is a prime example of why to this day that ex-husband wants absolutely nothing to do with her. If Jezzy experienced it in 2 years, imagine what bottom shelf Brad went through in 10 years. Constantly ridiculing him, overly criticizing him, you know, talking to him like stir-fried trash. I can only imagine this is a clear indication as to why that first husband felt free to get away from her, and that's why he's so much at peace, because Jezzy saw it in 2 years. Imagine what he saw in 10 years.
Evaluate yourself, you know?
So you had it.
So I had it, but
nobody
nobody ever called me out on it. Also, in my line of work, sometimes being a boss isn't so great for you, because you have a lot of people who just agree to what you want. They're yes men.
So she's blaming, in other words, to all the gentlemen out here, not taking accountability for why she has this angry bird issues. Okay, and I'm going to talk about this on my other co-ed channel. I'm going to do a part 2 over there. She's trying to insinuate, because she's used to running her business, used to always calling the shots, that she's trying to associate being a boss is the reason why she has normalized being overly bossy, overly bearing, and not seeing anything wrong with it, because according to her, with her job, with her profession, you have a lot of yes men. So basically, her first husband not calling her out, and her having the profession of being a boss where nobody calls you out, you have normalized this behavior of being an angry bird. And in actuality, it took Jezzy was the only one who actually had to put you in your place and let you know you're not gonna pull that with me. So this is why the marriage ended up meeting its demise. It comes a point when even a man gets tired of having to repeat himself and keep recorrecting you. And I'm sure had it been once or twice, her and Jezzy could have overcame it. But I think Jezzy has seen this behavior repetitively to the point to where he's like, you know what? I do not have the energy to correct her, to keep putting her in her place. This is too much for me, so I just want out. I'm gonna proceed.
Right? And so I didn't notice that I had a hot temper until I got with Jezzy, and here's a person who is my equal and I really respect. And when I would spew some of my old habits, and he was like, like, who? That's not flying here. And also, it would trigger him to come back at me with things where I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? But
and it's another thing, she's being very open about everything that's going on in her marriage, and believe it or not, she would have been better off, her and Jezzy would have been better off sharing all of these thoughts with a therapist, with a counselor, if the relationship even stood a chance, or if the relationship had any chance of survival. This would have been a time for her to be transparent with a therapist or a counselor. I'm surprised neither one of them recommended that. So this lets you know that Jezzy had to put her in her place. Like, listen, these men are not going to let you overly dominate them or overpower them unless you're with a better male who's pretty much a pushover and allows you to do and say whatever you want, and he doesn't voice his opinion as a man, or he does not, he allows you to dismasculate his role as a man, she met her match. And what it is, I see an alpha female and an alpha male, definitely, and that's putting gasoline with fire. So there you have it, ladies. This is a big red flag as to why this marriage could not survive. A lot of these men are thinking these foreign women, these Asian women, these Filipino women, you know, all of these women of different races and cultures are just going to humbly kneel themselves before you and praise you like you Jehovah and the Lord and Savior, and they're going to wash your feet and scratch your back and, you know, rub your balls, you know, rub some icy hot on your feet. You know, they really have this delusional concept of what submission is. And the biggest problem a lot of guys are not understanding is, first of all, when you are in a relationship, you both have to decipher what submission means. To me, submission is more than my husband just saying, you need to come in here and wash my ass, wash the crack of my ass for me. You need to fix my plate of food, and you need to give me head whenever I want head, or whatever the case is. To me, that's not my ideal of submission. Just being a slave to a man, to the point to where only his happiness matters and mine does not. To me, submission is a woman who respects the leadership of her husband. Now, notice I said leadership, and this is the problem. All men do not have leadership abilities. Let's just keep it 100. All men don't have leadership abilities. You have some men who cannot lead nothing. Okay, they can't pay the bills on time. You know, they're not responsible. They don't take care of their children. You know, you have a lot of households in which women are predominantly the dominant force, and they have to be. You know, not because they get a kick, or they get a kick or out of having a lead and everything, but truth be told, a lot of women don't have a choice, and it's pretty much that woman's fault. You know, sometimes you want to push over a guy because he doesn't challenge you, he doesn't debunk or debate you, but the catch-22 with that is you end up miserable in the long run. You're stuck having to do it all. Be careful getting a man that don't mind you leading, because the problem is, it's going to come a point you're going to become exhausted, and you're going to want him to lead and step up, and he's not going to be able to know how to. You know, so be careful getting a pushover guy. That's what Jeannie might thought. She thought she had non-colored woman privilege. Okay, she thought that because Jezzy did marry her, which is a very big step that he took. So just off of that merit, she was fortunate to even get that, because a lot of women out here who want to be married and can't get married. But what she thought was she had, she figured she had a privileged past in which Jezzy was going to sit up there and let her say and do what she want, and continue to dismasculate him even more so because she has his child. Now she's thinking, you going to have to deal with however I run over you. And Jezzy had to let her know, and this is how you can tell Jezzy was totally fed up. And I'm gonna read one of the comments, because you know I have my other channel where I do content for men and women in the community tab, because I thought it was interesting, like I said, that Jezzy filed for the divorce first. So I had to look it back up, but the comment was actually up under my video, Jezzy files for divorce, from his egg foo young Jeannie Mai on my Mocha's Cafe de Paris co-ed channel. So Man Wheeler, which is one of my faithful followers, made a very interesting point. And you know, being that he's a guy, you know, I'm glad he gave his intake on it, so we can have more of a different perspective from a man's point of view. And basically what he said was, Mocha, here are the things that will make a man file for a divorce. Pull the trigger on the marriage. He said, 1, cheating. 2, disrespect, especially in front of his family. 3, craziness, attitudes. 4, loss of peace. 5, cheating, disrespect, crazy, loss of peace will make any man pull the trigger. Hammer time. So big ups to Man Wheeler for giving me that perspective. You know, I'm glad he shared that you know, response, because this is very important that women, we understand the language of men because their language is different from ours. So basically, so far this is what I've heard. So allegedly, Jeannie might text Zach from Saved by the Bell. I don't know if y'all remember Zach from Saved by the Bell. He was one of the you know, the cute guys or whatever, the teen heartthrob or whatever. Zach Morris, yeah, that was his fictional character. But supposedly, allegedly, his real name is Mark Paul Gosselaar, by the way. And supposedly, allegedly, Jezzy found a text of her texting him, reaching out to him. I'm not sure the dynamics of that as yet to be confirmed. Hopefully not, because, well, no, he's not married. Okay, so yeah, he is currently married from my understanding. So hopefully not, because that's not going to be a good look, especially with him having a wife of his own, and hopefully there's nothing inappropriate going on there. So supposedly, that's the rumor that's going around, y'all. This has yet to be confirmed, so don't run with the narratives yet. But that's one of the allegations that is brewing. Like I said, the other allegation is, you know, it's been issues with her family. You know, he's also been not to his knowledge supporting, not, I would say not, that's not the right, that's not the correct word, not being prepared and not truly understanding the culture of her family, that they look for him to financially contribute for everyone, you know, including them. And I'm sure that will be enough to make any man, or any woman for that matter, frustrated. You know, nobody looks to have to take care of your immediate family, then you got to take care of your in-laws. That's a bit much, you know, especially in this day and age. And I don't care how rich or successful you are, you don't want to have a whole nother family on your salary, because when things go left or things go wrong, you know, things get really ugly. You know, God bless his soul, Kobe Bryant, when he passed, Vanessa and her mama had a really ugly spat between each other, because the mother stated that before Kobe Bryant died, he had assured her mother that he would always take care of her. And so when he passed, you know, Kobe's mom was looking for, you know, a substantial amount of money. And Kobe's wife, Vanessa, put a stop on the brakes, like, oh no, absolutely not. I don't have to take care of you for the rest of your life off of my husband's money, who left this money for me and his children. And whatever personal feelings we got about it, bottom line is Vanessa is his wife. So if she does not feel she has to take care of her mother and take care of her family off of that money, then she has the right to decide that. That is the woman he married, who he has entrusted and left everything with. If he wanted to be different, or he would actually did a will versus giving her mom word of mouth. Promises, listen, promises hold no weight to a will or documentation. Keep that in mind when you marry and you blend in with a family. That's something you want to work the kinks out of while you're alive and well, because listen, when you are dead and gone, you can't defend from the grave on who should get what, who's entitled to what, when it comes to whatever you leave behind. But like I said, Weller definitely made some good points about cheating, so that's a possibility. Yet we don't know. This has not been confirmed as of yet. Disrespect, you know, we don't know how far Jeannie Mai took her disrespect. Did she embarrass him in front of his boys? Did she embarrass him or belittle him in front of his people? We don't know, because again, she says she's hot-tempered. You know, we don't know to what extent she took that disrespect. There's one thing if it happens behind closed doors, but when your mate publicly disrespects you, that is very unforgivable. So hopefully that was not the case, but yet this is to be confirmed. Craziness attitude. Well, she said she was hot-tempered, okay? So she did admit, but her admitting it does not negate the fact that Jezzy was not going to suffer through it, just to preserve his image, just to make her happy. And you can pretty much tell, you know, he's posted since then, you know, his last post, and everybody's been talking about that, you know, off of his Instagram. And, you know, at the end of the day, everybody is not in your shoes. You know, people can speculate from the background and say, you know, man, you know, you wrong for that. Y'all should be trying to stick it out and work it out and make it happen. Listen, nobody has to live with that misery and indulge in it like you do. So it comes a point in time, what's more important, proving a point or preserving your peace? You got to weigh the scales of the balances. What he put on his last post, and he's, you know, flexing on the hood of his, I think, Mercedes-Benz, or yeah, looks like a Mercedes-Benz. But his caption was, too focused on who I'm becoming to focus on who's not coming with me. In other words, hey, I am moving on with my life. I'm too focused on my next chapter, because the new chapter I'm going in, I've already have made the decision not to bring certain baggage with me onto this new journey. And I can only respect that 100%. I would rather him leave her, divorce her, than to be abusing her, beating up on her emotionally, mentally. Because you have some people who won't leave their spouse when they know they're not happy. What they'll do is they'll just be mean. They'll just be nasty. They'll just take that wife through hell. Kind of like Martell did with Melody. Listen, Martell was never going to leave Melody. We know this. He just would have kept cheating, kept hoeing, you know, still tossing air mattress salad, coming home to mail, bitching, raising hell about, you know, why there's no more Kool-Aid in the refrigerator, you know, why, you know, the light bill's so high, even though he ain't paying it. You know, once a person has developed a sense of disrespect for you, and you keep giving that person a pass, and you know, you think that eventually it's going to get better, eventually they're going to see the error in their ways and stop doing so. In many instances, you create a monster. Now, people can say what they want to say about Jezzy, but he was actually smart as far as leaving this woman before she made his life a living hell. Now, was he smart marrying her quickly, you know, giving her a child as quickly as he did before getting to know her? No, the way he started this thing off definitely was not wise. But all of us have made poor decisions. We all have rushed into things at some point in time. However, just because you rushed into something, that don't mean you have to stay stuck in it. You know, so even though that was his wife and the mother of his child, he can't change the mother that she's the mother of his child. He can't change that. But what he could change is removing himself from the equation by not being her husband. And that's the thing I'm further learning in the anger management class and the anger management courses that I'm going to be teaching, is that you have to only deal with the things you can control. The things that you cannot control, that is what you eliminate. You can't control your emotions. You can't control the disrespect you're willing to take. But at the end of the day, you cannot control how that person chooses to handle you and chooses to abuse you. Jezzy was not going to be able to handle Jeannie Mai but so much. He was not going to be able to control her and make her stay in her place but so many times, especially if he had already addressed to her that I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to tolerate that, I'm not going to accept that, or whatever. Once he has laid down the rules in the foundation and she continues to violate, then at that point he has to make a decision. I can no longer control her, but I can control how I tolerate and how I deal with this. And he made that decision by divorcing her. So, nevertheless, you know, it's unfortunate that there's another broken home, but at the same time, Jeannie Mai got back her karma. She pretty much pissed in her ex-husband's mouth, Freddie, and called it sweet milk. Now, the irony is that she left Freddie, a man of 10 years who she could have had a child with, to only marry young Jezzy of 2 years, a rapper, and a man who's already has multiple baby mamas, and yet she gets dumped by him. Do y'all not realize how karma works? If reaping what you sow is not a perfect example of this story here, I don't know what is. But Jeannie Mai got to take that L. Her ex-husband had to take that L. Now, where she's going to go from here is going to be interesting. She may decide to cross over, or she may decide to find another, you know, black man who still may be gullible enough to pick up the pieces where Jezzy left off. It's going to be interesting, but I will say this much. Any man who deals with Jeannie Mai is going to have his work cut out. She's not easy to get along with. She seems very clingy, very territorial. She acts like a know-it-all. We've seen her on The Real. A couple of times Tamar and Lonnie Love, they had to put her in her place. And you know what? I'm going to say this too. You have a lot of these type of non-colored women who are consistently in the circle of black women, and I think that's cool. I think it's great as women that we can all come together with our differences in our race, in our outlook on things, our morals. I think it's cool. You don't always just want to be in the circle of people who think like you, look like you, and act like you. That would be a recipe for disaster. But I will say that sometimes these non-colored women, when they've been in a circle of colored women for far too long, they tend to feel like they know more than you know, especially when it comes to these, you know, colored men. Well, it seems like once they have got a chance to cross over and experience being with the black man, now they think they are on our level. Like they know as much as we do. They know about them more than we do. And the truth of the matter is, I don't knock any man who wants to be with another woman outside of his race. I think we should explore, and whoever you love, you love. Nobody has the right to dictate who you should be with and who you shouldn't be with. But at the same time, you know, to all my, you know, filet mignon, you know, chow mein sisters, you know, y'all got to realize we still know these men more than y'all will ever know them. We know there's a lot of things that they're not going to stand for. Now, do a lot of us abide by our own men? Absolutely not. But at the same time, you know, you have to realize that even when you are married or in a relationship with these men, you will never ever have 100% control over them. We as black women, we know this. Why? Because we have children from them. Why? Because we've been married to them. Why? Because we've dated them. We're not even that. We have been birthed by them. Okay, we have brothers. We have male cousins. We know we understand the mental psyche of the black male psyche to a certain degree. We'll never have it all mapped out, just like they know black women to a certain degree, not fully. It's going to always be something we are aware of when it comes to each other, and there's going to be things that we are just lost in the sauce about. But Jeannie Mai was very certain of herself. She was too smart for her own good. We knew from the beginning what her agenda was. And I said it on my last channel, and I'll say it again. She never got past that 10-year relationship that did not work out with Freddie. Freddie moved on, got his wife, had children, and he's pretty much been in a blessed place. We have not heard anything negative about him. He stepped out the spotlight. He said one or two things when people tried to come for him on the strength of them trying to defend Jeannie Mai. He said what he had to say, and you know, it wasn't always pleasant, but for the most part, this man stepped out the way and let her do her, because Freddie knew it was only a matter of time before Jezzy was gonna see what he got. Like he said, hey, that's somebody else's trash. I went from trash to class. And even though trash is a degrading word, what he wasn't saying waiting was, I already know what kind of trouble, what kind of baggage Jezzy is going to be dealing with. So I'm not pressed about him marrying her. I know what she is. I have upgraded. You know, and Jezzy has found that out, that Jeannie Mai is not all of what she pretended to be. All this artificial submissiveness in order to gain the admiration of black men. And a lot of y'all fell for the okie doke. You know, y'all fell for it. And we knew better. We knew Jeannie Mai was a hustler. She said it from the beginning. You know, dark meat was good on the side. Now that she done had that good dark peen or whatever, she done got to experience that and got a beautiful little girl out of it. This is just the beginning. She's going to secure the bag. She's definitely going to get money out of this. Hopefully that prenup is lockjawed to where she's not going to be able to get a lot. Now I would say this, Jezzy is a businessman. I would hope, I can't see him not handling his business and taking all the proper legal precautions so this woman don't walk away with too much of what he has built. I will hope that he would have been wise in that, being that he's an entrepreneur. He has all these restaurants and stuff, but at the same time, Jezzy has kind of showed the elevator don't go all the way up. You know, you only known this woman for 2 years and you married her and gave her a baby. Now, another thing is, this was not her first baby. She had a miscarriage from him. Okay, so that probably, and I would say, hate to say this, but that was a sign for both of them. Like, y'all probably pushing this too far, further than what it needs to be. But nevertheless, God still blessed them with another baby, and she's here, she's alive and well. But it's going to be interesting to see how the dice rolls, you know, now that Jezzy has pulled the plug. So anyway, y'all, ladies, leave y'all comments below. Let me know what y'all think about the situation with Jeannie Mai and Jezzy. Do y'all think she's going to walk away with a hell of a lot out of this divorce? Or do y'all think Jezzy, being that he already beat her to the punch, divorced her first, and had her do a prenup, do y'all think Jezzy, even though he was not wise and how quickly he married and had a child with her, do you think he crossed all his I's, crossed all his T's, and dotted all his I's to ensure that she would not be walking away with the majority of his livelihood? Also, do y'all think Jeannie Mai is going to take this line down, or do y'all think she's going to try to fight for more money, fight for more control with Jezzy, being that she might possibly feel betrayed? Because from what we can gather, we think she was blindsided. We don't think she really knew Jezzy was going to do this. And if you think about it, that's really a smart ass move. If you're going to divorce somebody, you don't prepare them. Why? So they go lawyer up before you even get the paperwork put in the courthouse. Look what happened to Drew and Ralph. You know, Drew had beat Ralph to the punch, and then Ralph gonna file after. Then certain people said Ralph filed before her, so I don't know. Same thing with Kim and Croy. Sometimes once your spouse becomes your enemy, you cannot prepare your enemy, which is your opponent, for your next move. So I get why Jezzy did what he did. He had to do what he had to do. He couldn't prepare her. But it does not mean the odds may not still work out in her favor. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think it is. Lastly, I am doing an anger management online course for free. Okay, I just got certified as a CEMS anger management specialist. So if anybody's interested in doing a 1-hour class, it's going to be online. It's going to be for free. I'm not going to charge you a thing. Anybody who's struggling with anger management, anybody who is going through, like Jeannie Mai says, always hot-tempered, not being able to control oneself, flaring up, you know, always blowing, you know, always off the hinges. If you are an individual that is suffering with this type of issue, nevertheless, we all got issues. Let me enlighten you that I am willing to allow you, will grant you the privilege of becoming a participant in my anger management class. Now, keep in mind, I'm only doing 3 sessions, okay? With the 3 sessions that I am doing, each session is only going to be 1 hour. If you look at my community tab, I got the dates. I'm going to see if I can pull it up right quick. I got the dates. That's why I know I'm going to have to get off of here because people keep calling me. I'm going to give you the dates as to which ones you can sign up for. All the days are on Thursday, October 5th, October 12th, October 19th. So you would have to actually email me at anonymous, ANONYMOUSBYCHOICE79. So that's anonymous by choice 79 at yahoo.com. This is a different email from my usual emails because this is pertaining to my anger management business, okay? So I have to keep all my emails separate. So only the first 15 who send an email says I'm interested, those are the only ones I'm going to grant access to participate in this class. It will be online, okay? So it's nowhere where you have to go and meet and locate and all of that. My goal is to do it in the evening when I know everybody's calm, relaxed. I'm trying to do it between 6 or 7 o'clock, somewhere in that ballpark or whatever. Not too late because people do have to go to work and things of that nature. So if you're interested, I'm only accepting the first 15 ladies who email me. Once I get that email, when the date comes, I'm going to send you a link the day before. You will be speaking with me personally through StreamYard, okay? It's not going to be no pre-recorded or anything where you're just hearing me speak the whole time. We're going to actually be interacting, and we're going to actually be going over different tactics about being able to subdue or control your anger. So if you really need this class, consider it a blessing because it's not going to cost you anything. Now, after October, I will be charging a fee for my anger management class. So consider this a blessing, a free blessing, if you really need it. If not, maybe you have a girlfriend, maybe you have a sister who needs it. Email me, or you can give her my email information and she can reach out to me, or you can email me and say, hey, I think this would be a really good look for my sister, my mom, whoever the case is. There's really not a major age requirement, but I do would recommend you send someone mature to me. I don't have a problem dealing with younger women, but they have to actually be very mature and be willing to listen and at least be respectful, because you know some of these young women today, they're not very easy to counsel. So nevertheless, I'm very open-minded. I'm willing to deal with men as well, you know. So if you a husband and wife, y'all want to come and do anger management, you know, whatever the case is, we'll get it popping. So email me. Again, the first 15 ladies who email me, y'all get in free. I'm gonna shut it down from there, and we'll just pretty much go from there once I have all of the people I need, and I'll be keeping up with you until I have my first anger management seminar. Because the thing about it is, I want the black community, I want black women, I want us to mentally get well. You know, financially, it's great to be financially established. It's great to be educationally established. But what about being mentally and emotionally well established? You need that solid mental foundation. What good is the money? What good is the education? What good is the image if you're mentally struggling with your temper, if you're mentally struggling with your anger? So consider this a blessing. Take it while it's free. Take advantage, okay? Because it could be a blessing for you. But anyway, y'all be blessed. Don't forget, I do still sell cable. over 9,000 channels, $25 a month. You can inbox me that. Also make tumblers, and I make t-shirts. You have a bridal shower coming up. You have a ladies' night event coming up. Maybe you have a business, a company where you need t-shirts for your company. Inbox me. I got you. I'm a jack of all trades. I can do a little bit of everything. So y'all know I got some more content coming up. So keep monitoring my community tab. And I am going to do very soon when the dick is led by the demon. That's coming up. You know, I had just a lot of other stuff I had to do with all these new stories that's coming out that y'all been hit me up about. So I know I had to do the Jeannie Maya one because too many people were saying they needed my opinion on that. So anyway, y'all be blessed. Take care. I'm out.